Conversation by emailing us at rewind@carrollbroadcasting.com. Podcasts of KCIM Sports Rewind are always available after the show at 1380kcim.com. Now, let's talk sports with Sports Director Jeff Blankman and John Ryan.
Well, let's talk a little high school sports. Let's do that. We got a week of high school football to talk about, so yay, we're back.
Yes.
A full schedule of high school games on Friday. So,
I got to thinking this morning, John, when I was out doing a run, for some reason I think football when I'm out running. But you imagine when we get through this week, we're 30% through the 10-week schedule of the high school football season already. You believe that already? We're nearing we're not that far away from the halfway point.
You've really thought way too much about this, dude. Seriously, you gotta get a life.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
it's week 1.
I know.
We got 8 more to go.
I know, but it just reminds you of how fast it goes.
Yeah, we got to get you a girlfriend. We got to get you something to take your mind off.
Why does everybody keep telling me that?
You might want to start listening every once in a while.
What?
By the way, nice congratulations on a nice Nebraska win here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is rare. Only 8 times over the last 2 years. So it's about time we start out 1-0.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Didn't exactly look the greatest.
No, offense looked pretty bleak. It was pretty weak. But
they were just afraid of showing too much against that tough South Alabama team.
Absolutely wanted to save it all back for Colorado. I hope that was the case, but I'm kind of doubting it. So we'll be all right. There's too much talent out there offensively to continue to look like they did. So.
It's a work in progress, that's for sure. A lot of people in Iowa State didn't look all that
No.
good. UNI did look good, though.
Right, absolutely.
I'll tell you what, they take Iowa State to triple overtime before they wind up falling. Had their chances to win it, too.
Yeah. And the Iowa game was even close for a while. It was Iowa, midway through the fourth quarter was only up like 28-14 or 28-17 or something like that, or 24-14, and then they kind of rolled late and got some late touchdowns. So a lot of teams struggling, some teams not struggling. Penn State went out and threw 70 on Idaho. So.
Yeah, you kind of expect some of those. But one local kid had a terrific day on Saturday. That was Cody Case from the University of South Dakota. 11 catches. Week 1. He is that good, and he was a guy they missed last year and said that, we need him back on the field. He's a playmaker. He made a catch over the middle that was literally, he popped it up in the air with one hand, bobbled it as he's falling to the turf with both the other hands, and wound up making a terrific catch, and it wound up with over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is the second of which, a 9-yard touchdown pass from another guy that was from around the area, Council Bluffs Lewis Central quarterback Austin Simmons.
Here's Simmons. Simmons being chased, throws toward the end zone, caught, touchdown! Touchdown, South Dakota, Cody Case!
Yep, the second of 2 on the day, so Cody has a good game to begin his, redshirt sophomore season.
Yeah, I tell you what, looking forward to seeing what he's able to accomplish this year. Great young man. Really works hard, and he has got so much athleticism and talent. It's going to be fun watching what he's capable of doing this year.
There's not too many players out there faster than Cody.
No, and he's got football speed. Some guys are track guys, and he was a great track kid when he was in high school. But, some guys that are track guys slow down a little bit when you throw the pads on him. Cody's not one of those guys. I almost joked with Brian, of course, his dad and the coach up at South Central Calhoun when he was high school. I thought he was almost faster on the football field sometimes in pads than he was, when he was running track.
Yeah, it's just everybody slows down that much. Cody doesn't lose that speed, I don't think. So they got a little tough test coming up next week. They got to go down to this place called Norman, Oklahoma.
I know.
Play a team called the Sooners. You heard of them?
I have. I do miss playing them every year. I will say that. But they're that's going to be a fun one. I'm still hoping that we can get down there. I had requested some credentials to be able to go down and watch that game, but I have not heard back from Oklahoma yet. So hopefully we'll hear back this week and be able to pack the vehicle afterwards and head down.
I'm a little shocked they didn't return a call from Jeff Blankman right away. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no,
Do they know who they're dealing with?
They don't, and that's not surprising.
All right, we'll talk regular high school sports here. What we're supposed to be talking about anyway. Let's start with the home team. You got the game on Friday night. Kemper, Council Bluffs, St. Albert. Looked like kind of a good preseason matchup, but Council Bluffs not on Kemper's level.
No, just they don't have the same kind of size. And early on, the defense is dominated. Neither team had 100 yards offense in the first half. Kemper led it 7-3. But neither, Kemper couldn't get the ball out of their own side of the field in the first quarter. Finally flipped the field in the second quarter and were able to get a touchdown midway through the second quarter on a Cole Collison touchdown run or a Kyle Berg touchdown run, and then led it 7-3. In the second half, you just kind of could tell their size. They were going to just continue to pound, and they wore St. Albert down and got a couple of late touchdowns. Really dominant drive to start the third quarter. St. Albert punted on the final play of the third quarter. Kemper started a drive in the fourth quarter on the very first play and ended up chewing up almost 9 minutes of that quarter, just continually to kind of pound the football. And got down there, got a touchdown, and then St. Albert went forward on fourth down deep in their own territory, didn't get the first down, turned it over on downs, and Kemper able to punch another one in to kind of extend that lead and pretty much end things with about a little over a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, I thought stat of the game, both teams less than 100 yards total offense in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the epitome of nerves going into a Game 1 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely, and really solid running game. Unofficially, Kyle Berg had 23 carries, 106 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Cole Collison was 16 carries for 52 yards and a couple of touchdowns. They will have to probably throw the ball a little bit better. Just 4 of 12 in the passing game. 2 of those went to Blaze Gunderson. Those were the only 2 times he was really looked at in the passing game throughout the game. Made an incredible catch down the middle of the field on a ball that was slightly underthrown, went up and kind of just took it away from the defender and had to kind of reach around him to be able to do that, and made a great catch falling down, and then another first down catch on that long drive down the sideline. So they'll be able to throw the ball as the season goes on.
Yeah, have fun playing offense this year, Blaze.
Yes.
Because your offensive days are numbered. He's going to play in the defensive side of the football at Nebraska. How did he look defensively? You said maybe trying to use speed too much early, but then just overpower some kids.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the coaching staff talked about after the game a little bit. He's so much faster than most of the guys that he's going to go up against.
The athletic ability was just amazing.
And stuff. But he and they were getting pressure. Him and Kyle Berg on the other side, they were getting pressure, and then the guys up the middle were getting great push as well. But eventually he just decided to go he's going to be stronger than most of the guys he goes up against too, and eventually he went with more of the power rush and just kind of shoved the guys back into the pocket and helped collapse it that way. There was one time he threw the lineman out of the way, and then the running back, poor guy, came over and tried to block him, and all you saw was the running back kind of flying backwards as Blaze made the tackle and the sack on the quarterback.
Yeah, so if you're standing still and he's running at you, you have no chance.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Absolutely. So, defensively, I thought Kemper looked really good all game.
Good deal. Carroll goes down to Glenwood. Glenwood, I think, is going to be one of those teams going to give a lot of people problems with their team speed.
Yeah, they will, and it's a track program. And Carroll High came into it with more speed this year than what they had last year. They thought they matched up pretty well, but just had some problems in the secondary. They moved guys around after falling down 14-0 and got a few guys in different positions, which helped things out a little bit. But it sounded like the slant patterns, just those little quick hitters, and they were able to break those. And then a couple of times they got over the top. But all of their touchdown passes the other night were 39 yards or more.
Wow.
So that'll be something that they'll have to get things cleaned up a little bit. I know when I talked with Craig Rowetter, the D coordinator, Saturday morning, he talked about, they need to get that fixed. And then Denny talked to him this morning a little bit, and he said that, they've got to get some pressure, and that'll be a key for them when they take on Ballard this week. They've got to get some pressure with the guys up front.
First of all, those catches were probably little slants over the middle, so they're not 39-yard passes down the field. They're little passes over the middle that break open for Glenwood. But how do you simulate speed in practice like that?
It's hard, especially when your fast guys are the guys that are guys on defense, and stuff. So it'll be some slight adjustments, maybe transitioning a little bit where you play and how you play and what you're trying to take away, and maybe where you force guys and stuff. Maybe get up and chuck them at the line, not let them get that clean break off of the line, and maybe get a safety over top, those kind of things. But Coach Rowetter,
it's a risk too, because if you miss that, if you don't get a good enough chuck at the line of scrimmage, they're gone.
They're gone, absolutely. And Coach Rowe knows a lot more about playing defense and setting up a defense than I ever will. So he'll get things figured out, and they'll be just fine. Offensively, Colby Vincent went out, threw 4 touchdown passes on the day, threw for 271 yards. Story Feldman, Colby Christensen, and Luke Woosley all had really good games through the air. But they've got to get the run game going. That's where they struggled a little bit the other night.
Absolutely. So Carroll High falls to Glenwood once again. The final there was, 44-28?
44-28, right. Yep.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with some of our regional matchups going on next here on KCIM Sports Rewind.
As the athletes at your house.
It is KCIM Sports Rewind. We're missing 1/3 of the team here.
Is he just a third?
Wow. Ouch. If I'm understanding that correctly, and I think I am by judging by your laughter.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he will take shots at me, so I got to throw him under the bus every now and then.
Turnabout is fair play.
Absolutely,
there, yep. If there's one thing that Jeff Blankman hates worse than a Huskers loss, it's being cold in the wintertime.
Yes.
You are the biggest baby with cold I've ever seen.
I am. I hate cold. I sit in here during the summertime with a hoodie on. You know that.
Because the air conditioning is going.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. But if you've got leaky or drafty windows, man, you know what it's like to be cold in your home, and you see all these people messing around with covering the windows with plastic.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, it doesn't do the job.
It works, but it's too much work.
Yeah, exactly. New windows are the way to go, of course. By the way, did you know that if you put a new window in your home, you would get about 70 or 80% of that cost back in resale value.
Really? Nice.
That is one of the best things you can do for your home. But get decent windows. You got to talk to the great folks at Carroll Lumber. They've got locations in Carroll, Wall Lake, Lakeview, and in Odebolt. If you're in Carroll, you talk to Mike and Allie. You go in Wall Lake, you talk to Craig or Bill. Chris in Lakeview and Mike in Odebolt. They've got Marvin, Sierra Pacific, and Anderson brand windows available. Every style. Depends on if you want, what style you want. They can they can deal with all of that. Less heat's going to escape your home this wintertime, which means your bill's going down.
Absolutely, and you don't have to wear a hoodie in the house.
Which is what Jeff Blankman does every single day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Year-round.
Let's talk more football once again. Talk to the great folks, by the way, about windows. Best investment in your home with Carroll Lumber and all the different locations in Wall Lake, Lakeview, and in Odebolt. Game of the week last week, the regional one was South Central Calhoun and East Sac County, where Brian Case picked up career win number 150. Congratulations to him. So.
Yeah, one of the great guys and great coaches in the business, and probably a better guy in person than he is a coach, and he's a great coach. He's a Hall of Famer, and well-deserved.
Consistent program he's built there. He took over from Don Bulwer, what a great program, and never missed a beat, and elevated that program from there.
2 state championships at Southern Cal. They're routinely in the quarterfinals every year as South Central Calhoun. Just haven't missed a beat, and it's so amazing because you talk with other people and they're like, how do they do it? How do they not have a year? They graduate great classes every year, and it's just another group of kids just moves right into it. The numbers haven't dropped off. They continue to get guys to go out for football and buy into what they do, and they've just done an amazing job, and they're going to be really, really good this year, and it's going to be an interesting game coming up this Friday night against Kemper. But last week they opened up at East Sac County, and it was a little bit of a struggle at times. Kind of sounds like they lost the battle up front a few times in that game. East Sac should be really good up front this year, but Griff O'Neill went out of the game, the quarterback, early on for them. That really changed what they were able to do and what they were trying to do offensively, and South Central Calhoun kind of rolled from there on out, winning it 44-0. So Cole Corey came in, kind of settled the offense down a little bit, finished 9 of 16 for 174 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And once you get that spread going, they can go back to the full house tee. They're so multiple, and they were able to just kind of chew things up on the ground.
Yeah, Raiders defense held the Titans' first 2 possessions. That's when South Central got things rolling, which tells me adjustments.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things, I asked Brian, one of the things I talked to him about it is their coaching staff's been together pretty much as long as he's been there, as the head coach and even as the assistant coach. So he allows his coordinators and his coaches to kind of call their own things and do their own things because he knows they're all on that exact same page. They've been doing everything the same for so long. They think alike. they react alike, and it just makes it pretty easy for guys to be able to make adjustments.
Yeah, I don't think any of the coaching staff has been together as long as these guys, not by a long
right,
shot.
Absolutely. You had that cat staff down at IKM Manning for a long, long time, but some of those guys have now, retired. So that was probably the other one that's been together that long.
So what's the prognosis, Griffin O'Neill?
It sounds like he's going to probably be done for the season, the way it sounds. I did text him on Sunday. Sounded like he was going in for surgery yesterday, but have not heard from him on how surgery went or anything. I'll try to touch base with him here again in a couple of days.
So he's not going to try to regroup, get the offense put together, but when you lose your starting quarterback that early,
absolutely.
I mean, you put everything into that, getting those reps, getting ready to go for that first game. That's just a tough break right there.
And that's a good ESAC ball club. They're a team that's going to, contend in that district for that district championship. So we'll see how they can rebound from this. But I know that coaching staff's a great group of guys too, and they'll get those guys ready for that week 2 matchup.
Tell you one score that surprised me was IKM Manning ACGC, Adair Casey Guthrie Center. 32-21 in favor of ACGC.
Big. ACGC comes in big. Got a lot of size, and their coaching staff's a lot of the guys from the old Madrid coaching staff back when Madrid was dominant. They do a lot of the same things that Madrid done. They run that offense, and they just kind of leaned on IKM Manning early on. IKM Manning fell down early in that game, rallied back, after being down 20-7 early in the second quarter. Played much better, I thought, in the second half, the way it sounds, but just were down by too much and just not able to kind of completely get back into the game. But I think they'll be all right. They're not very big up front, so that'll be something that they'll kind of have to deal with. And it's weird to say that. IKM Manning used to be one of those teams that always had those big guys, and now their size just not the same as what it was maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, you look at guys that are playmakers. Amos Rasmussen returns a kick for a touchdown as immediate response to an ACGC touchdown. So that would be their only lead in the game. But they're going to have playmakers throughout the year. It just didn't happen for him week one.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to be fantastic for him this year. So it's just, it'll be getting creases big enough for him to be able to get throughout the year. So, and hopefully a guy like Colton Brandt's a great defensive player. Him and Kyler Rasmussen at linebackers. I think their defense will be fine as the year goes on.
Let's talk about the Arweva-Booyer Valley game. Arweva coming off that big overtime win, that first week 0 game and against Griswold, and they ran into a buzzsaw in Boyer Valley.
Yeah, Booyer Valley, a lot of athletes and a lot of veteran athletes. They brought back almost everything offensively from last year, and they're all upperclassmen, where Arweva's a lot of freshmen and sophomores in those areas, and the older guys just kind of took advantage this week. One of the things I know Coach Peterson talked about was, they're still moving guys around defensively to figure out where everybody fits best for what they want to do defensively. He said by the end of the year, everybody may have played almost every position on the defense until they can get this figured out. But when you're going through that kind of stuff with a young team and you're still trying to get guys into the right positions, it can be kind of tough. And they struggle a little bit offensively. But, yeah, they'll be all right. It's just going to be a young team that might have some up and downs this year.
Yeah, and again, the up being the overtime win in week one, you start thinking, hey, this season's got really a lot of potential. But then you look at a team that's experienced, got size. It just wasn't a great matchup on paper.
No, and they were, getting blown out in the first half, and they came back right away in the third quarter, cut it from 32-6 to 32-22. Looked like they're back in the game, and then all of a sudden, Booyer Valley made some adjustments and got some plays offensively again.
Speaking about week 0-1's Audubon came out with a big win against East Mills. Week 1 come out against another perennial powerhouse, Remsen St. Mary's. Good ball game here.
Yeah, heartbreaker. For the Wheelers. It'll be interesting to see for me how they're able to bounce back against maybe the best team in the state or one of the best teams in the state in Fremont Tabor Mills coming up on Friday night. They do get them at home, but you go on the road, you have a long bus trip, you're going to be going up against a team that's big, physical, fast. They've got a quarterback that can throw it all over the field. They've got athletes on the edge. Their quarterback, the Harpino kid, can run. He's a big kid, but physical and fast. And you go up there and you take a lead late in the fourth quarter after neither offense could do much in the first half. Both offenses kind of got going in the third, then the defense has adjusted. Audubon able to get a nice drive going, got a touchdown run from Skylar Schultes to give them the lead with about 7 minutes to go. And then Remsen St. Mary's went on a drive. Now, Audubon got up 7, went for 2 to try to make it a 2-possession game, didn't get the 2 and stuff, so they were up by 6, I should say. And then Remsen St. Mary's scores with 6 seconds left. They go for 2, get the 2-point conversion to win the game by 1. So just a heartbreaking way to lose a long, long road trip.
Yeah, that was a very tough one for Sean Burks and crew. And by the way, I wonder if they've ever improved the press box up at Remsen St. I remember you and I were there years and years. I'm talking like a dozen years ago.
Yes.
The flies in that place.
The flies. We couldn't.
It looked like something out of The Exorcist.
We literally couldn't see the window. We couldn't see through the windows because of all the flies. I know the next time I went up there, they actually parked a hay rack outside and had me sit on that instead. So.
Gotta love small town Iowa football.
Absolutely. My guess is that it's probably changed a little bit since then. I will find out. I go up for the Arweva at Remsen game later on this season, so I will find out. Hopefully they're not listening to this and, don't stick me outside in the cold if it's cold that night.
Bring your parka and a bug zapper.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to run into.
I might need both. Yep.
Coon Rapids Bayard rolling past Baxter Moine. They put up 74 points in week 1.
And the funny thing was Coach Moore talked more about missed tackles and missed assignments in the postgame. Absolutely. Things that they need to still get better on going in from week 1 to week 2. So, offensively just got the ground. They're going to run the football at you. Jeffrey Eagle had a huge night, 212 yards on the ground with 13 carries with 3 touchdowns. Peyton Clipperton, 8 carries, 63 yards, a pair of touchdowns. They only threw the ball twice, in the entire game. So if they can maul you up front and control the game on the ground and win the line of scrimmage on both sides, that's going to be a tough team to beat this year. They'll get tested, though. They've got Newell Fonda coming in this weekend.
I was going to say that's going to be a good test coming up for them, but talk about their district chances, their outlook for Coon Rapids Bayard this year.
That district's really good, but I think they've got a chance to be contenders in there. I think you got Audubon, you got Exire Elkhorn, Kimballton, you throw Camanita in there. I think Glidden Ralston's going to be really strong this year. That's going to be it's probably going to be a deep district. Your district champion might have 2 losses, very possibly coming out of that district this year.
They've had a lot of heartbreak in that district.
They have.
Last few
Absolutely.
years. Maybe this year they give somebody else a little heartbreak. Glidden Ralston opens up with a 60-42 win over West Bend Mallard. Was there defense in this game?
There was. Glidden played some really good defense early. Got up, I think it was like 30 to nothing at one point. Then had some turnovers that cut it to 30 to 12 at half. And then kind of settled in. The interesting thing is this isn't the Glidden that your mom and dad grew up with. This is the Cole Corson version of the Glidden Ralston Wildcats. Of course, Craig Lynch still the head coach over there, but Cole now calling the plays. And I had to laugh. I was listening to Mark Humeyer interview Craig after the game on the scoreboard show, and Craig's like, yeah, he goes, I'm going to be your last interview each week. Cole just wants to come out and throw the football all over the place. He goes, it was a 3.5-hour game. So, but yeah, they played 4 different guys at quarterback, and part of that is they've got so many guys that can play different positions and have different skills that they can move guys around, and they're going to do that this year. I think that offense is going to be really, really kind of interesting to watch and develop. I know they still want to get the running game going a little bit, but a really nice win for them against a big physical team. They matched the physicality of West Bend Mallard in that first week, and were still able to get their athletes out in space.
Well, they don't have the big horses like they used to have at Glidden.
Absolutely.
So you can't stick with the same style and expect to win. So I think Craig Lynch realized that and said, hey, we got to make some changes.
Absolutely, and they did that. They started the process last year with Cole calling plays and taking over the offense, and now he's got a little bit more control of it. The guys are understanding things a little bit better, and it's going to be Air Corson is what I called it the other night. Somebody told me no, and I'm like, we're going to start calling it Air Corson.
So the playbook went from 3 pages to 133 pages?
Well, I would almost say with Corson it might be 233 pages.
It might be.
And there's probably 3 plays on each page.
Glidden fans, it's going to be fun. You know that for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Jump on for the ride.
So week 1 in the books. We look forward to week 2. Once again, you can check out the schedules online at 1380kcim.com. We're going to talk a little volleyball coming up. We've got some good matches on the way for you tonight.
Absolutely.
There's some really good stuff on the way. That's coming up next on KCIM Sports Rewind.
Athletes at your house. In the newly renovated sports performance facility. If an injury is keeping your athlete out of the game, call St. Anthony Rehabilitation Services at 794-5000 for sports injury and treatment rehab.
Kirsten Campisi talking with Carrie Trecker at DePaco Community Credit Union in Carroll. It is September. We've been talking about National Preparedness Month during the month of September and setting up an emergency fund for those emergencies that will eventually happen. And first of all, Carrie, pay yourself first. What does that mean when it comes to planning an emergency fund?
Set aside some money into your emergency fund first. It will keep saving a priority for you. DePaco can help you set up auto transfers to make setting aside money mindless and automatic.
So every time you get paid, you know you're setting money aside for in case of an emergency. And those funds, and you have that emergency fund set up, Carrie, how much does someone have? Like, how long should it last, that emergency fund?
You should have 6 months' worth of expenses saved into your emergency fund.
And how can DePaco help with maybe setting up that emergency fund?
Well, you can visit us at depaco.com and watch the Financial Hard Times video to learn more about saving. You can stop down and see us at 503 Highway 30 West or give us a call, 712-792-1735.
That's DePaco Community Credit Union in Carroll.
KCIM Sports Rewind. It's Jeff Blankman, John Ryan with you here as we...
Did you hit a wrong button or something?
Yeah,
All I heard was you say, oops.
Yeah, oops. Oh, well.
Is it the music that's playing right now?
You know, I was going to roll right by that and not pay attention to the mistake, but, you know, it's not really a mistake. It's never a problem when you play a little Prince, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay. Why not? Got to talk a little weekend volleyball going on this weekend, and we got some great matchups tonight. We're going to preview real quickly here, but let's talk about the weekend, how it went.
You bet. Kemper came into their tournament up at Humboldt on Saturday. They were ranked number 2 in the state, went 5-1. Their only loss was to a really good Spirit Lake program that's got a lot of size and almost everybody back from a really good team last year. Kemper dropped the first set by 3 and then won the second set. Had some chances in set 3, but fell 16-14. Sounded like some service errors, maybe, kind of the difference for the Knights there. Otherwise, they cruised through most of the rest of their matches, beating everybody 2-0, except for Humboldt. They did have to go to 3. Humboldt's got a really good team, and I know Humboldt was really looking forward to a matchup with Kemper as the host school up there. Kemper's kind of went up there and dominated things over the years, so I know Humboldt, with that good team that they've gotten, some good talent, was looking forward to that one. So I thought a good day for Kemper overall. South Central Calhoun was also up there. They went 3-3 on the day. Lost to Spirit Lake, Kemper, and Humboldt, 3 really good ranked programs, and then knocked off Fort Dodge, Grandview Christian, and Emmetsburg. Young team for South Central Calhoun. Haley Stodder had a really good day for them. The Bata girl also, Riley, had a really good day as a freshman setting and hitting for them. And Maddie Schultz had a really good day, had 9 aces in one match alone, so a good day for them. Carroll High went over to the Bondurant for our tournament, ended up winning their pool, going 2-1. They got moved into the gold bracket based off of a set win percentage. Ended up going 0-2 in that, but played really well against 2 outstanding programs in Waverly Shell Rock and Holy Trinity. I know Coach Schultz was really excited, said that there's a few things that they need to get cleaned up, but once they do that, this has got a chance to be a really, really good team, and I thought they sounded like they played really well. Josie Ayala and Ella Callison leading them at the net, and Riley Ludwig had a great night setting for them. Coon Rapids Bayard did really well, went 2-1 and finished second at the Colfax Mingo tournament. Lost in the championship match to a really solid program in Nottoway Valley. Otherwise, cruised by Baxter and knocked off Colfax Mingo as well. Young team, first-year head coach in Jessica Denholm. I think she's going to do some really good things there. And Esac County finished 6th overall, took 3rd in their pool down at the Harlan tournament. That's a loaded tournament with some great teams down there every year. So, good Raider club coming off a sweep over GTRA and Newell Fonda on Thursday night. Played pretty well, but probably, still kind of learning and getting people in some of the right positions.
Good early season tournaments, though.
Yes, absolutely. Really strong tournaments there.
Let's talk about tonight, because there's some really good matchups going on early in the year. First of all, we'll begin with Nick Brinks. He's going to be out on KKRL tonight. Arweva at Audubon. Preview this matchup for us.
Arweva going to be a different team this year without Emily Danner and Emily Hinters. But they've got, Sarah Shirkey back, very good setter. Jaden Smith, Hannah Kraus, able to take it up another level. Really talented freshman group. And then you got Leslie Luft, who will probably put herself on the floor about 85 times tonight, diving all over the place. She is a libero that goes 180 mile an hour all the time and just really works really, really hard. So that should be an interesting one. Audubon, a young team this year. They've got some really good upperclassmen and seniors and Mallory Reboff and Leah Subert. They've got some nice young talent and some sophomores and stuff. But they struggled a little bit in those first match of the year. So we'll look for them to bounce back. I think it'll be a good close matchup.
You tonight are going to be at Carroll High as South Central Calhoun. The Titans come to visit the Carroll Tigers.
Yeah, really like this Carroll team. This one's going to be a good one. This has been a really good match over the years. South Central, Emma McKinney, Haley Stodder, we talked about her earlier. They're breaking in some new setters this year, so that'll be the interesting thing for them. Courtney Riley in the back row. Emma Jean has been playing well in the back row. And then for Carroll, again, you got Laura Sweeney. How's she going to handle the serve receive? She's an outstanding libero. I think I really like this Carroll team, so I think they've got a chance to really go out and play well tonight.
So this is the first of 2 nights of volleyball we'll have for you. Thursday night, East Sac at Pocahontas will be our broadcast matchup on Kick 106.7 with Jeff Blankman, and Red Oak at Kemper. That's always an outstanding matchup. KKRL with Jeff Hunold.
2 top 5 teams in that one. Actually, Tom Hawkap now going to have the call on that one.
Tom Hawkap will have that one, so I stand corrected. All right, that is KCIM Sports Rewind for this week. Our thanks once again to Johnston Communications. Chelsea, man in the cameras all by herself today, so great job, Chelsea. We'll see you next week.
When you need to know, KCIM